Hello and welcome. It's Dr. Chris, your friendly neighborhood acupuncturist, spreading the word about preventive health and natural healing. I always like to bring awareness to things that you can do for yourself in regards to your health, keeping yourself on a good path. And I always try to focus on natural principles. I mean, that's what the body was designed. That's how it was designed, in a natural way. When we start getting kind of artificial or off the path of what is natural, I think we start to run into some side effects and problems that are as hard to kind of control. Okay, so when I think about what is natural and from what I've learned from traditional Chinese medicine, acupuncture, Tai Chi, Qigong, these sort of things that I've studied over time, the foundation is Yin Yang. So this is a Yin Yang talk, okay? You look at the symbol, you see two different opposites trying to come together in harmony. Okay, you got the light side, the dark side. And they're this is a three-dimensional symbol. Okay, so it's spinning. It's like a spiral type effect. You have an integration of one into the other. They're transforming into each other. The yin is the dark side, and the yang is the light side. And I want to explain this a little bit so you can understand it. Think about it like a balance. We're trying to balance out yin and yang, and this is a symbol of moderation, not excess. Okay, if we have excess, we got too much yin, too much yang, not enough yin, not enough yang, okay? So those lead to problems, those sort of imbalances. This is what we mean by imbalances. So we want a balanced ratio of yin and yang. Now, we use this to compare things in life. Day and night, male and female, hot and cold, up and down. I mean, these are all aspects of opposites that are coming together and integrating. A day into night kind of cycle, yearly cycles of the season, this sort of thing. Okay, even our DNA is this kind of spiral type structure. Okay, we can see this even in universal, structures like in the universe, like a galaxy that might be spiraling. Okay, so this is a primal force that we can kind of observe and look for balance and identify when it's out of balance. Now let's put some terms into these categories, yin and yang. Let's put some terms that we can understand better. Okay, we'll put water into the yin category, and we'll put fire into the yang category. Now, these are two opposites in many ways, right? Fire's hot, water's cooling. Fire rises, water settles. Fire's active, flickering, right? When water reaches the bottom, it's still. Okay, water's nourishing and fire's consuming. Okay, so think about that fire as the kind of like an active kind of aspect. It involves our energy, the things that are insubstantial and subtle that we can identify with ourselves, our emotions, our mindfulness, our state of mind, if you will, our sense of energy. That's in the yang and fire type category. You're busy-minded, kind of fiery, okay? Kind of tired, kind of lacking that fire, right? Now the water is more of a physicalness instead of an energetic aspect. It's more tangible. And we can think about our physical body in that way. Too much water, maybe, too much weight, we need to manage that, right? Not enough water, it's a lot of aspects physically. It could be your muscle tissue, your bone, your blood, your hormone levels, if you're deficient or excess in those aspects materially. All right, so we need a coming together in balance of these ideas. And I like to depict it as boiling water. Okay, where do you place the fire? You got the fire in the water, and it's all about position, right? In our kind of world, and this world that we live in, uh, we have things like gravity, for example, that causes an effect on our body. And so where does the fire get positioned correctly to create a steam, okay, a boiling type effect, which is like a transformation. You know, when the body's healing and growing, there's a transformation of things that are happening. And so we need to place the fire below the water, right? The fire wants to rise, the water wants to sink, and then you get this kind of integration. And then this steaming effect. Now, try to follow me on this. We want balance. We want a good ratio of fire and water to create a good steaming effect. And the idea of a nice, long, steady boil, this is an analogy of a nice, long, healthy life. And that's the goal, right? When it comes to health, we want a nice, long, healthy life, also referred to as longevity, right? Now, what might happen if we have extremes? If we have too much fire or not enough, too much water or not enough, right? We're going to have trouble. And this is when we start getting into medicine. We start looking for these things. As a practitioner of this type of medicine, I am diagnosing people with these kind of basic ideas. It gets more complicated. I'm trying to keep it simple. Okay? So are you in the fire category or are you in the water category? Okay, I may have a patient that comes to me. They're stressed out, they're busy-minded, they're thinking about, their family and trying to make enough money to survive, and they've got a family member who's, not very healthy, and they're in the hospital or something, and, they're stressed out. And this is more of a mental, emotional type stress for this person. So very fiery, okay? And then they're living this life for months and maybe years, okay? So that fire is cranked up. Think about when you cook on the stove, where do you get the flame? Is it medium? Is it high? Right? This I would say this patient has got the flame cranked up on high. And they're boiling the water away fast. It's furious, right? It's really boiling. There's a lot of steam. And for a short time, they're able to cope with things, and they're dealing with stuff in their life, and they're going on day after day. Then after a while, there's a sort of collapse that happens, and it leads to exhaustion. Okay, and there's an energy collapse. They can't keep it up. There's not enough fire to keep up that level of output of energy. It's just not physically possible. And how do we try to sustain this fire? We eat, right? We're trying to eat and feed it, and we eat more, and we're mentally, emotionally kind of like very busy-minded. We're going through this, and it's suffocating. It's kind of a panicky kind of condition. It's an edgy kind of condition. It's an anxious kind of condition, and we want to feed that fire, and so we end up eating, and we end up overeating. Okay, and then what ends up happening next? We're trying to tamp down that fire. That fire's blazing away, and we're feeling edgy, and we feed ourselves, and we kind of sedate ourselves this way, right? And then we kind of feel tired, and we want to sleep. And what happens over time with this type of lifestyle? We gain weight because we're overeating. And this is not the solution to tamp down that fire and to bring and try to restore balance. It's just physically not possible to live at that level. We're taxing our body way too much. We're exhausted. We cannot eat at that level to satisfy and create that level of output energetically. It's the wrong treatment or solution for the problem. Okay, we're overeating to try to settle the fire and relax the body and produce energy. It's just all out of balance. The result is weight gain. We feel tired. We develop a lot of inflammation in the body because we're just beating up on our digestive system. It's like a muscle. and we're overworking it and it just can't keep up. It's like trying to feed a lot of wood into a wood stove, and we start to choke it and it starts smoking. It's not producing heat, it's suffocating. Okay, and then from this state we start to suffer from all sorts of health issues. You name it, this could be a beginning of all sorts of health issues. And it's very common. Okay, and what happens is we injure our digestive function. We injure our stomach, and it doesn't work properly. And from there, we can create all sorts of health issues now that we're scrambling to try to solve. And really, the solution is more of a mental emotional health, actually, and a digestive health solution. This is where we need to focus on. Okay, so I hope you see this. I bring this up because I want to bring awareness to this. People can come to me with all sorts of health issues. Migraines, they're overweight, they got digestive problems, they can't sleep, they feel anxious, they feel tired, they've got chronic pain. And, you know, the inflammation could be a big factor in all of this. And really, the root cause can be a yin-yang imbalance with their mental, emotional health and their physical body and their ability to digest food and being overwhelmed with eating too much food and having too much mental, emotional stress to deal with. It's overwhelming. And so that needs to be managed. So the next time you're dealing with a lot of health issues or a complicated or challenging health issue, think about how is your mental emotional health and how is your digestive function. Is it in good order? Do you feel pretty good about this? Okay? You know, when you start unraveling these things, you start discovering other stuff going on too. You could start trying to lose weight, and it actually makes you feel more anxious because you're kind of unraveling and revealing problems that you need to address, like the anxiety needs to be addressed. That stress level needs to be addressed. And it makes you want to go back to maybe eating. And that's not the right way to go. And this is where you need to reach out and get some support. So I hope I shed some light on some real truth when it comes to natural health and healing and preventative practices that you would need to get into to unravel them. Okay, with awareness, you can choose better prevention. And if you need help, you can reach out. I'm here. My clinic is called Acupuncture and Herbal Medicine. I'm in Coventry, Rhode Island. Sometimes I do work over the internet to consult with people, but things are best when you can come into the clinic, and we can use some great tools like acupuncture and whole food supplements and herbs, and I can also work with people to kind of give them self-care tips. I do have an online platform that's called learn.natureshealing.info. There'll be a link associated with this video on that. And on there, I have educational videos that can teach you principles to help you address and discover natural health solutions and good self-care practices for yourself and your loved ones. Okay, so and keep in touch, leave comments, share and like. I appreciate that if you can spread the word, and we can help more people this way in a natural way. All right, until next time, keep on the sunny side.